How to get furniture shopping right the first time. Hello, I am Denise. I am a mum of 3 and I'm studying interior design and slowly improving my home with little things I learn along the way. I was recently in a predicament. I needed to purchase some furniture for our home, but because I'm a mum, I am really time poor. I also don't have the biggest furniture budget in the world, and I'm also hypersensitive to the way my home looks, obviously loving interior design. So I was feeling really overwhelmed with the process. That led me to starting to think about this furniture purchase process as a little bit more of a puzzle that I needed to solve, and started breaking it down into steps to really think about this decision logically and enable myself to purchase the right furniture that would tick all of the boxes that I needed. So the process I came up with has 3 different questions. First of all is, how much can or should I spend on this piece of furniture? How does this furniture piece need to function within my home? How will this piece of furniture match my room and my home? And I'm going to be using my daughter's room and the item of furniture that we were purchasing for her room to help walk you through all of these steps and see how it can be done in real time. We're going to start with function. The piece of furniture needs to house a lot of different toy collections, dolls, Legos, doll houses. I'd like it to stay organized. Already we're realizing that we need some sort of drawer system or some sort of system that can house storage containers in that. I also know that it needs to fit in a really specific corner of the room. So I have about a meter, 1.2 meters for the size, because it's also acting as toy storage, and a lot of these toys aren't small toys, like we've got stuffed animals and things like that. I'm realizing that we also need quite deep drawers, so that really narrows down my selection. I can't just be looking at a normal chest of drawers. I'm looking at really specific deep and wide drawers. This piece of furniture also needs to be accessible for my children. I've got a toddler and a 4-year-old, so they need to be able to help themselves to these toys and also clean up the toys when we're doing a room cleanup. We also know that this piece of furniture is going to be used in the situation of play, and that means that it will get some rough use, it will have some dents, it might get scribbled on, it might be decorated with stickers. So I want something that's quite sturdy to function as the toy storage for my children. So we can already see by going through this method and thinking really carefully about all of the aspects of the functionality, we've already really narrowed down the furniture piece. We know that we're looking at some sort of buffet unit with accessible cupboards or drawers, and if it is a drawer unit, it needs to have wide, deep drawers. We know that it would ideally be solid timber or some sort of sturdy material, but also something that's not quite too precious. To recap, the 4 questions we're looking at under functionality: how big can it be? What is its job? How accessible does it need to be? And how sturdy does it need to be? The next part of the diagram is dealing with aesthetics, which is how the furniture will look. For our daughter's room, we do have a really specific theme going on. You would have seen from our past videos that we decorated it in a really beautiful light pink, beigey pink color. It has a subtle French theme going on. We've got some bleached timbers. I'd like to keep that whimsical, playful vibe going in the room. So we're looking at a piece of furniture that has some soft curves, maybe some antique influence, has kind of childlike qualities, maybe some oversized drawer handles or things like that turned to feel a little bit more childlike and playful. So in terms of color, we're also looking for a piece of furniture that maybe be painted the color that will match the room, or maybe be timber so that we can bleach the timber to fit inside the theme of the room as well. The other route we could go is going completely opposite. You can do that by introducing a modern piece. The room is soft and playful and curved lines and antique elements and things like that. You can go the opposite direction and choose a furniture piece with straight lines, with more modern features, like maybe some stilted legs or some castellated lining or things like that that are really trendy at the moment. And sometimes that can really work, bringing a modern element into a room that has more antique features. So in the aesthetics department, we're really asking, what is the color going to be? What are the lines? What is the theme? And who is the audience? Budget is last because it does overlap a lot of what we have already gone through in terms of choosing furniture pieces. And it's not really as simple as how much can I spend. It's also thinking about how much should you spend. So in terms of our daughter's room, bedroom. I knew that this piece of furniture was going to get a little bit of rough handling being in a room with children in the context of playing. I also know that it's going to be tucked away in someone's bedroom, so it's not going to get as many eyeballs on it. The daily interactions will mostly be me cleaning up and the children playing and cleaning up, etc. I'm not attaining a huge value to this piece of furniture. I started doing some research. This is a really important step in terms of budget, starting to plug some of these terms that we've already considered in the areas of aesthetics and functionality into Google and seeing what types of furniture are on the market, seeing what price points they are sold at. I started plugging in a solid timber drawers, solid timber buffet, for all of these items that I thought would fit in the room and check the boxes in terms of aesthetics and functionality were all at quite a high price point. So I compared that with a secondhand option, which is, going on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw that the price point was a lot lower for those furniture items. So then I started to think, okay, the functionality of this piece, where is it going to live? Who's going to use it? This made me realize that I don't want to spend too much money on this piece of furniture. So I decided to go the secondhand option. Yes, I'm looking for some sort of quality. So having all of those parameters, I was able to find a beautiful UK pine antique drawer unit that has some really deep drawers in there, and it has been absolutely great for keeping all of the toys organized and easy cleanup, easy accessibility, and it has a little bit of a nod to that antique era with the scalloped design on the bottom. It's a beautiful pine, although we have found that the pine is quite soft and does dent really easily. So we're going to address that in the next video, where we're going to be updating our daughter's room. I'm going to be doing some sort of upcycle to this chest of drawers to make it a little bit more kid friendly and just give it a little bit more of that hardiness back into it. But because it is full timber and it's a really great quality piece, we can see that it's got dovetail joins in the making of the drawers. That gives me confidence that I am able to sand this piece of furniture back, I'm able to paint it, I'm able to customize it, and that was a big priority for me too. So really happy how this system has allowed me to choose a really great piece of furniture to live in our daughter's room and fit all of those boxes that were priorities for me. So I also thought to whiz through this process one more time and show you a different situation. We needed some bedside tables for our master bedroom. Starting with functionality again, we needed some extra storage for like underwear and books and pajamas and things like that. We're very down on storage in our home, so that was a big priority for us. My scope for bedside tables has shrunk a lot because a lot of the bedside tables just aren't built with storage anymore. I also know functionally it can't be too wide. We have a very minimal space in our bedroom, seeing that we are sleeping and also have a home office in this one room. So it needed to be quite a compact square size, 2 deep drawers. Now if we look into aesthetics, we are working with what you can see in the frame. We have an antique picture up ahead. We have a kind of like a white boucle upholstered bed. I love dried florals. I love the vibe of like warm yellowy light in lamps and things like that. I wanted to find something that would complement this because I really like the natural rustic kind of landscape. I decided that introducing a beautiful raw timber into this palette would be really, really beautiful. Aesthetically, I also know that yes, I do love straight lines and I do like a little bit of that mid-century shape to them, but I also like to have some unexpected little features going on, something playful, something interesting. Lastly, we're looking at budget, and because these pieces of furniture are going to live inside of our master bedroom, I know that they're going to be used predominantly by adults and they're going to see a lot more care shown to them. I also know that I want to make an investment that's going to last years to come. I know that my budget for these pieces of furniture are a lot higher than I would have had for my daughter's bedroom, for example. I started looking online, plugging in all of these parameters into Google again, and I found this beautiful pair of bedside drawers from Early Settler. They tick all of the boxes. They are solid timber with a beautiful grain. They are a square kind of slightly mid-century design, but they've got a really fun flair, having solid timber stilted legs and some oversized handles, which just give it a little bit of playfulness and unexpectedness. They also have the really deep drawers, and they have 2 of them, which is a great asset for storage in our space. I'm really, really happy that going through this process has allowed me to purchase some really, really great pieces of furniture for my home. So you'll be able to see these bedside drawers in our next video. I'm going to be updating our master bedroom. I'm going to be styling these bedside tables, updating the bed, and doing other little projects like that. So looking forward to sharing that with you next week, and we'll see you next time.